I used to hear people that they would say, "Oh, I saw this light. When you see the light, don't go towards it. Turn back." And I always used to wonder, like, what are they talking about? Like, how come I haven't experienced anything like that? What does that even mean? What are they seeing? Like, what is it? And I always had that curiosity, that wondering. Now, I'm gonna share my story because I guess that we only get to see certain things when we are ready to see. Because otherwise, I don't know, our brain, our body will collapse. And we probably would end up having an existential crisis or go crazy. I don't know. But there was one time that I was meditating, and I was meditating with a shamanic music. I also want to mention that the meditation was for about 2 hours and a half. So when I took my headphones to my headphones of my ears, I opened my eyes and I was looking at my ceiling. And I remember see this light. Like I remember this so vividly. I don't know if any of you have experienced anything like that. If you have, please let me know. So I remember seeing this light in the ceiling, and I was just looking at it, and I was like, "What is it?" And it was something undescribable happen because it's like if I had my eyes open but not open at the same time. Because out of the sudden I wasn't looking at the ceiling anymore. It's like the ceiling disappeared and transformed into something else. But it's like if I had my eyes open, but I wasn't looking at the ceiling. I was looking something else. It was very strange. So that light it turned to something like big, bright. It was kind of like a portal that I went in. The light, I'm gonna say the light is very hypnotizing. It sounds like a calling. It's sort of like an invitation. And I also want to mention that in my meditation, I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking to see a light, but just meditating, trying to relax. Just trying to meditate. So it's like if I was following that, and that was showing me a lot of things. It's like it was showing me how many times this place, this planet Earth, here where we are, it's like it was showing me how many times this place has been created and the many times that happened. I also want to tell you that that is true. If you see the light, don't follow it. Not because I don't want you to see. Maybe it's necessary. Things are going to start repeating again. It's like a chance to change something about your life, to change something, and then going back to what you're trying to change. And I feel like there is a mistake that people make after coming back from the light. It's like they go back to sleep. I went back to sleep. And like after that happened, I was like, wow, that's insane. I have to keep it to myself. who am I gonna tell this? Who am I gonna tell this? This is the first time I'm sharing this. But if you follow the light, when you come back, I feel like the biggest mistake that you can make is go back to sleep. The biggest mistake to me. If you see the light and you decide to follow it and you see certain things, don't go back to sleep. Stay awake until the sun comes out and maybe go back to sleep. But I feel like if you go back to sleep, I don't think that's a good idea. And I'm gonna tell you why. So the second time that light appeared, I already knew what it was. Like I already knew what it was. And I was like, I'm not falling for this. I'm not falling for this trap. But by then, from the first time to the second time that happened, I had gained more knowledge. I gained more wisdom, more aware of myself, all my own thoughts, and my body and certain things. I just knew more. I mean, I already had seen the light once. So why would I go to see it again twice? That wouldn't make no sense. Maybe maybe it was a way of the universe, of God, or life, or my own consciousness to test me if I would have do the same thing. If I didn't learn the lesson in the first time or something like that. So I believe that by the second times I was stronger in all aspects, like stronger mentally, stronger spiritually, physically. I was more aware. I hope you follow me. All those certain things. I feel like I was stronger. Like I'm stronger than then. And every time that I go to sleep, before I go to sleep, I have this like a set. Like if I have some sort of setup codes in my brain that I follow. So I remember seeing this light, and every time that it would appear, I would just go back to that, to that inner belief, to that inner center, to that inner me, to that inner guidance. It's like if the first time I was just like, I'm just gonna follow, I'm just gonna go to La La Land, see what's going on. But then the second time I was like, I already know this. I already experienced this. So I was just looking at it, but it wasn't developing, like it wasn't growing. Like the first time was just like the more you were looking at it, the more it was growing, 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 growing. Where you get to the point that you just disappear in the light. When I tell you, you start seeing a lot of things, you start seeing a lot of things. A lot of things. So every time that I was seeing this light, the second time, I would just stay focused and that inner belief of me, and in a way, it would shrink. Like it wouldn't get to the point where it would grow. Like it just would shrink and almost like disappear. And it was very interesting because there was a part of me that was kind of like, what it went? Like, you're not gonna stay there? What happened? And there was like certain hints, but that night, second time that I saw the light, I just stood up the whole night. Something very interesting that happened. I was feeling very emotional. Like I barely cry. Like barely. I barely feel sad. Like barely. And I start experiencing this such a deep sadness, like a soul sadness. And I was just kind of like, what is that? I normally don't feel like this, but I believe that was a test. I remember going to my window, look outside, and guess what? I saw a rabbit. I saw a rabbit. Right when I look at it, it moved towards the backyard of my house. And I was like, I'm used to those things. Like that's nothing. If I tell the amount of stories, the amount of things I have experienced, that they obviously they are no coincidence because they are insane, you wouldn't believe me. But that's besides the point. So I was experienced. I was feeling this deep, sort of like soul sadness. I saw the rabbit, and there was a moment where I started crying. Like I started feeling sad, like almost sorry for myself. And then I was like, hold on a minute. That is not right. That is not me. I'm too strong. I'm too powerful. I'm not saying that feel sad and cry is weakness, but the way that it came and the way that it was feeling, as it was something that was trying to bring me down or pull me down to a place that I don't belong. So, you know what I did? It was around like 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning, I put my headphones on. I put some of my favorite songs, open the window wide open after I closed it because I was starting to crying a little bit, and then I started to dance. I started to dance like a maniac until the sun came down. And that day something interesting happened. Instead of following the light, I stay rooted to myself. The light disappeared. I never got to the point of growing to pull me in. The light disappeared. And then out of the blue, I start experiencing this soul sadness where I refuse to feel it and go back to sleep. I refuse it to cry myself to sleep, to poop, to cry, to cry until I fall asleep. So just stood there dancing. Something that I got to understand was I know that something shifted that day. Since that day, I don't feel the same. I feel like some way, somehow, I have gained some immunity. And I don't mean this, and I don't mean it this in a bad way because but more as if my soul feels more energetically stronger than whatever has been before, than whatever. If I have crossed some, if I have crossed a line, a path, something, I feel like I am on the other side. And I feel like if you know, you know. If you don't know, I don't know. You don't know then. I'm not a menace in a bad way.